Yo, it's your man MAS, back with more content. This time around, we're talking about Sakamoto Days, alright? This series is really, really good. That's the end of the video. It's like, nah, but pretty much, like, I know most of my content is like me criticizing or crapping on anime, but like there are really good anime out there. And for me, like the topic of the day with Sakamoto Days is graphics, right? Can an anime still be really good with really crappy graphics? The answer is yes. The answer is Sakamoto Days, all right? And then if you're an older anime lover, like you know that like the graphics aren't like next gen, right? So some of the greatest animes that we've seen, the graphics, if you watch those anime back then and you watch it now, the graphics are shit. There's only like a few animes that the graphics stood the test of time. It's the same thing with video games, right? You play certain games, and back then it was like the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? And fast forward to now, it's crap. But there were some games back then that the graphics were so good that it stood the test of time now. So that is Sakamoto Days, right? I'll get into a little bit in general, but shout out to Chibi Reviews. This is another anime channel. I get like a lot of dope content from him. In regards to where you can find Sakamoto Days, it's on Netflix, right? So Netflix is trying to be a competitor to, I guess, Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is like the only main non-underground pirated anime app, channel, whatever that I know that is easily accessible to people. And then Netflix has been trying, you know, so I think Netflix got one with the Sakamoto Days. I really do think they do. Like if they're trying to put their foot into the anime space, I think Sakamoto Days so far is a home run, like hands down. I'm watching Solo Leveling and Sakamoto Days, and it's like a 1-2 punch. Like I feel like you can't beat it. Like Sakamoto Days to me is holding its own to Solo Leveling. I'm enjoying both shows thoroughly. But back into the topic at hand. I ranted for a good minute. So Sakamoto Days, the graphics, the artwork is garbage. It's garbage, right? It's like it's garbage by today's standard, right? And I mean, to explain this, if you consume enough anime, old and new, you know the standards of anime now. The standards of animation and graphics with anime right now is like through the roof. Like Solo Leveling, the fight scenes, like the graphics are just, which makes sense, you know, like it's 2025, you know, like Real Engine 5, like graphics needs to be top tier. Sakamoto Days, no, it's not good. But all because the graphics are not good, the story, the action, it's really, really, really good, right? It's so good, I might start reading. Alright, it's that, if you watch my content, you know we don't read over here. Strictly the anime boys. Besides my comic, the anime boys over here. But there are some, like Berserk, some animes are just so damn good, I need to know what happens. I gotta read. I don't feel like waiting, right? Sakamoto Days is probably close to within that realm for me personally, all right? It reminds me of a Rurouni Kenshin feel, right? And when I say that, it's like, hey, like, and that's the issue I have with Solo Leveling. Like the book probably does a better job of Solo Leveling, but like Sakamoto Days is like, they're still the overpowered character. So like that never went away. But like there was an emphasis on the other characters. And the other characters are almost like coming into their own, if that makes sense. Like the story of Sakamoto Days is just so damn fucking good. It's really, really good. Maybe it might be like a little slow in the beginning, and even then I would even call it slow. Like it's still really good, but like it really picks up when he starts to meet like his old partners from the order. Like it really starts to pick up a lot, and it just gives you that, like the anime recipe is real, but like that recipe I haven't seen in a long time. It just feels like the most balanced thing I've seen in a long time, minus like Frieren. Like what Sakamoto Days is doing is kind of like what Frieren did or is doing, and that's really good. The only difference is like Frieren is, as far as I can tell, does Frieren have a better story? I think so, and Frieren is just like, is next gen, like Frieren kind of checks all the boxes, next gen graphics, all that stuff. But for me, Sakamoto Days, I like Assassins more, but I do think Frieren got it. Like Frieren is like a better version of Sakamoto Days, but it's kind of like a preference of if you prefer Assassins or just magic, right? I really hope, going on another rant, I really hope Frieren season 2 they place more emphasis on other like classes. I felt like for season 1, it felt really balanced in the beginning with like the warrior, magic, all that stuff. And then I felt like towards the end of season 1 for him, heavy magic. I'm just like, yo, what happened to my boy Stark? Like I feel like it just went, they were like balanced and then heavy magic. That was for it. So I hope season 2 is a little bit more balanced. And if it's not going to be balanced, you better go heavy warrior then. That's my thing. But Sakamoto Days is like the comparison of the two is like with Frieren, there's like her old teammates and then the new people she's bringing up with her, right? And the new people she's bringing up with her are just as talented, if not possibly better than her old teammates. It's almost like, best comparison is like the next LeBron, right? It's like, oh yeah, LeBron, I used to play with a guy called LeBron James, but this guy played under LeBron, and he's just as talented, if not he could be possibly better. There are shows that do a really good job of highlighting the next up, and I feel like that's essentially what Sakamoto Days does, right? Sakamoto, like I can see the direction. If it's not the direction they're going in, that's fine. But like what I've seen, I'm so hooked. Like the next gen, right? So the next gen meaning Sakamoto. He was the legendary assassin, worked with the Order, but the people who's kind of working under him now has that potential. Like they're just that damn good. And I don't want to spoil in terms of like the characters that start to, get highlighted, but that's essentially what it is. Like Shin, the other characters that like, they may not be as good as the Order, but they have so much potential and they're really, really good at what they do. Like it's not all about Sakamoto. And there's several really good episodes that highlight Sakamoto leaning on his crew to kind of like, hold up the team. Like it's really, really good. It's not solo leveling where there really is no team. It's just Sun. Like even Team Korea is just Sun. Team Japan is just Sun. There's nobody. There's no emphasis on character development. There was, I felt like in season 1, like a little bit more, but season 2 is just like, it's just Sun. It's still entertaining. We still love an OP character, but like, I'm like, yo, why do you even need S-Class? What's the point of S-Class Hunters if it's just Sun? Like, no, like, Sakamoto Days really good on the next up. Like, the next LeBron is playing right now. And, I don't know, the next Steph Curry is playing right now. And for real, like, those shows I really love because they do a really good job at that. I mean, besides that, action is top tier. Action is really good. But I just feel like people just need to understand, like, all because something isn't the best, like the best action so far to me, I still think, I could be biased, is still Jujutsu Kaisen, right? That's the only thing I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen does really, really well. The action is like, I feel like it's Jujutsu Kaisen, Dead is Solo Leveling, and then there's probably like other shows in between, right? I don't count Dragon Ball Z has Supreme Action. It's kind of like just Energy Blast. That's me, right? You can hate on me if you want. But Sakamoto Days, the action is still really good. I feel like I have read some manga. I know I'm a phony, but like, I feel like the action scenes in the manga were like a lot better versus the anime. But even the anime, I feel like the action scenes were still really good. I just feel like compared to like the anime that are out, it's really hard to compete with Solo Leveling. It's really hard to compete with the animation. Like that's what I'm saying. Like even though it's not Solo Leveling type of action, Jujutsu level kind of action, I just feel like that's a really hard bar to read. They probably have like an enormous like what you call budget to do that. I feel like Sakamoto Days, they don't have that. Kind of tell with the graphics, but like I feel like they still do really, like, it does enough to still really, really entertain you. And I don't want to like discourage you where it's like, oh, the action is that bad. Like, no, the action is still really good. I just feel like if you're comparing it to the greats, it's not that, but it's still damn good, right? Like the action scenes, but in terms of the graphics, everybody's like a little bit different. So like, I don't think the graphics are bad, but I don't think they're good. By today's standard, they're not good. But I feel like the story is so good, the action is like good, like the storytelling, the character development is so good that kind of makes up for all of that. And I really do feel like if you love anime that was like back in the days, right? It was another YouTuber that made a video about it, and I really believe that. Like the graphics with animes back in the 90s weren't that great, like Cowboy Bebop or whatever, right? But the storytelling was so good, the graphics kind of leaned into that, and even though the graphics weren't like the most polished, it kind of helped enhance the story. Whereas now, anime is like, and this is how I feel. My one friend, he loves like really, really polished anime, like the glitz and glamour, and like everything just looks super clean and super, like, people like that. But I feel like it kind of takes away from the grittiness of storytelling when like blood looks like pizzazz or something. But yes, Sakamoto Days is a testament that you can still be a really damn good anime and not have amazing graphics. So hopefully that can be a testament to, you know, creators out there that don't have huge budgets like Solo Leveling and Jujutsu Kaisen to create over-the-top action, right? Or just scenes, animation in general. I will have more Sakamoto Days to come. I'm gonna say it right now, probably going to be very biased. The next videos to come for Sakamoto Days is probably going to be really good. I haven't really found a lot of negatives with this. It's just really good. So just be prepared for a lot of biased videos from me for Sakamoto Days. Yes, I'm putting it out there, but I mean, I could be objective. Graphics suck by today's standard, but all because it sucks by today's standard, that's speaking objectively, doesn't mean it's still damn good, right? Two things can be true. But it's your man MAS. I'm out.